what's the guy's name on Joe Rogan that pulls something up? Yeah, yeah, Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, yeah.
Jamie, pull that up, Jamie.
Yeah,
pull that up.
Jamie, see if you can find African fighting dogs. Yeah.
Have you seen that video of that comedian that's being sued?
Oh shit!
About the Lion King?
No.
Have you seen that? Oh my gosh! So they're sitting there, and this thing's bugging me, dude. I'm wigging. This thing is so big. I feel like I got like a.
I know, right?
Then they're sitting there, and they're doing the Lion King theme song, and it's like there's like 3 black guys on a podcast, just like this.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's like da singonya la la bisa, you know, whatever, and they're like, he's like ingonya la la, whatever he says, and they're like, there's a lion. Oh my God!
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the guy starts laughing. He goes, "There's no way that's what it means." He goes, "That's exactly what it means." And the creator of the song is suing him for like 10 mil.
Really?
Because he misrepresented the song because he made a joke with it.
Is it not what it said?
It's apparently that's not what it means, but because he misrepresented it, the guy's like suing him.
How can you sue? What case does he have?
I don't know. He's just he's suing him for like a bunch of money or something. Put that back there.
How many songs have been fucking misrepresented? How many people have been rickrolled?
Rickrolled? I've never heard of that. Rickrolled.
What, you've never heard of that?
No, Rickrolled?
Yeah. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Oh.
Like when you look up a video and then it busts over to fucking that song.
Oh yeah, is that what that? Because the guy that sings that song is called Rick.
Rick something. I can't remember what the fuck his
Rick
name.
James, bitch.
Rick James, dude. I used to love that shit. Oh my god, I miss Chappelle's Show so bad.
What is it?
Chappelle's Show.
Chappelle Show.
Don't tell me you've never watched fucking Chappelle's Show.
I've never watched Chappelle Show.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with this entire generation? We're fucked.
A lot.
Oh my god, Chappelle's Show. Look up Chappelle's Show. Look up the fucking True Hollywood Stories from Charlie Murphy, Eddie Murphy's brother. He's talking about like back when he was hanging out with Eddie Murphy, you know, whenever he was all successful and shit. And he was, you know, Charlie Murphy, he has no success, but he's hanging out with all these like super rich people. Talking about like the time they played basketball with Prince and the time that like Rick James came over and fucking ground dirt all in Eddie Murphy's couch and shit. Fuck your couch. No. Oh my god. So I'm Rick James. It's fucking amazing. You've watched this shit. There's no way.
Goodness gracious. So we've been friends for how long, Josh?
Dude, I have no idea. Several years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah, we've been friends. I think we met in 28. Was it 18 or 17?
Oh my god, the band didn't start rolling until 2019. We played our first show in 2020.
I think it was 2019 then. Yeah, it had to be.
No, there's no way because you tried out like after. Oh my gosh, which drummer was it? We've had so many damn drummers, dude. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was after Sean.
It was it
was after Sean.
Well, it was before he left.
We were looking for
before
drummers.
Sean actually left.
Well, yeah, we were looking for drummers. It was you,
scouting a drummer,
Hogan, and some other people.
My first initial introduction to you playing guitar in Dying Oath was the Pizza Den show. That's when I first saw you guys. That's when you guys had Sean. You guys were actively looking for a drummer. I didn't know it. And Mindy is the one that hit me up. And she was like, hey, like, you know, do you just do sessions or do you do like permanent full-time member kind of thing? And I was like, a little bit of both. And then I tried out for your band, blew the audition, and here we are. So, and you still play in Dying Oath, but you also play guitar in my band, which is super sick. My Past Affliction, which that's coming soon. A lot of really cool stuff. Can't really disclose yet, but a lot of really cool stuff. By the way, my voice is really scratchy. You'll have to overlook it because there's been a lot of pollen here in Virginia, and Clay doesn't hold up well with the pollen. So that's why I sound like...
You sound terrible, bro.
I sound so bad right now. Yeah, I sound like a dying cat in a tree or some shit. But anyways, so you play guitar in Dying Oath. How long has it been going on?
Like I said, we started like 2019. Well, I mean, as far as like actually playing guitar with the same people, like... Me and Ryan, the two guitarists that kind of started it, we've been jamming for years and years and years. And finally we was like, you know what, screw it. Let's find some other people to like fill the band out and see what this actually sounds like, see if we could play a show. And then we did that. And then, you know, here we are.
Dear Lord. So it was Ryan and you jammed.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first song that like y'all wrote together that became like the first Dying Oath song? Like how many songs did you guys write together before like you really like clicked into it and found like a song that was like this is the single, like, you know, End of Days or like any of the songs that the fans might know?
So with Dying Oath, previously we didn't really write together. It was like whenever we started, it was a bunch of music that I had already written and had put together, and I just wanted to find people, you know, like Ryan knew how to play them and stuff, but you know, I wanted to find people who just wanted to learn how to play this music that I had made and see what it sounded like in like a group setting. You know, I'd recorded the stuff, I had like shoddily added drums to it and all this stuff, but you know, I wanted to hear what it was going to sound like all put together. And that's kind of where it came from. But predominantly, you know, I was writing everything. We're trying to incorporate a little bit more group writing at this point, just so that everything doesn't sound like it comes from one source, like you can probably tell. But I mean, I think all of it's dope. I mean, all of it has different inspiration. All of it comes from a different point in life. All of it's written during different emotions in life. So I mean, they've all got their own kind of life to them. They've all got their own sound and their own vibe. But I mean, you can kind of tell that, you know, it was mostly me. And I have my influences, and my influences clearly shine through everything that I write. So
nice. So, well, what are like some of your influences? Like, I know you like All That Remains is a big one, right?
mm-hmm.
And then you've got
Yes, love All That Remains.
As I Lay Dying, early As I Lay Dying.
I like newer As I Lay Dying. Dude, oh my gosh. What's the name? I was literally just thinking of the album until we mentioned it. Shaped by Fire.
Shaped by Fire
is fantastic.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's some obvious issues as to why a lot of people don't really want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. I still appreciate the music. I do. I think the music is phenomenal. But at the same time, I'm torn with wanting to support a band with so many skeletons in its closet, I guess we'll say. Like, I don't know. I still listen to it. Like, I still listen to As I Lay Dying, especially old stuff. Like, Parallels, still my stuff, dude. I love that song. Yeah. But, I mean, other influences, I mean, In Flames, obviously. If you listen to Dying Oath, you can hear In Flames influence in there. You know, Trivium, Killswitch Engage, Bullet for My Valentine. All of these, you know, kind of early 2000s kind of influences, because I'm an older dude, and, you know, I grew up listening to all of that, and that's where a lot of my influence comes from. I've been listening to a lot more modern things and incorporating a few new sounds and techniques and things. So I think that's starting to branch our sound off a little bit, which I think is really cool, because it's effectively a mix of kind of 2000s metalcore with, you know, a modern influence coming into it, and it's got kind of a cool little unique thing. You hear a lot of, you know, modern rock and modern metalcore nowadays, but it's hard to find anything that's still got some of that 2000s influence for us old heads. So
what's
it's kind of cool.
That's a really good point. What's a band like nowadays that you think is like actually like staying relevant in mainstream, but has some of that like early 2000s like style sprinkled in there that really is still like relevant to, you know, I guess the mainstream, or just the
Lamb of God.
I knew you were gonna say Lamb of God. So good.
They still have their original sound, and it still slaps, dude. Oh my God, it's so
and
good.
They're like, their stuff is super raw. Like, there's not a whole lot. I don't really think there's a whole lot of production in their stuff. You know, they're not like production heavy like Bad Omens might be.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think. And I've seen Lamb of God too, and I was blown away by their performance. What's the lead singer's name? Was it Randy?
Randy Bly.
Randy Bly.
Yeah.
That dude, he gets down.
Virginia boys too, man.
Who is it?
I said they're Virginia boys too.
Yep, that's right, Richmond. Yep, I've seen pictures of people like posing up with Randy in Target in
Dude,
Richmond.
Makes me want to move to Richmond.
He gets for a little while. He gets caught in Target all the time. People catch him in Target, and like. Nothing here. Just, you know, a wild Lamb of God singer in Target, and then there's that rotating meme of the church and Lamb of God and like all that. That's hilarious. Yeah, and you mentioned Trivium earlier, and something I wanted to point out is like I'm not a huge Trivium fan, but that song "In Waves."
Oh my God, it's so
that
good.
Song slaps so hard. I think that's actually the title to the album, right? In Waves.
Yeah.
And there's another one, "The Heart from the Hate." I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I titled that right, or I might have butchered it. I don't know, but
wait, hang on. I'm fuzzy here. I know the song you're talking about. Oh my God.
It's on
The
In
Heart
Waves.
from Your Hate.
Yeah, I think it's called "The Heart from Your Hate." But But I think that's on In Waves too. I don't really know a whole lot of early Trivium. Like I know of Trivium, but I don't know a whole lot of early Trivium.
I don't know older Trivium or newer Trivium. Like
Well-
I fell off not long after.
Well, I feel like you got to see
Crusades.
some newer Trivium because you went and seen Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine last year, right? 2025.
God, what a show that was too,
Yeah.
man. They played the full Ascendancy. Oh my goodness, and then Bullet doing the Poison.
The Poison, so good.
It was insane, dude. Like I'd always wanted to be in the crowd for a gunshot to the head of trepidation. It was magical. Like, because I mean, like that album, dude, really set me down this whole freaking path. You know, I figured one of the questions tonight was going to be, how'd you get into metal? This is exactly it. Trivium, dude. Like when I
Really?
first heard
I thought it was Leslie Dying.
Pull Harder on the Strings of Your Martyr,
Yeah.
I lost it. I was like, this is it. This is the sound. It gave me such a dopamine hit, dude. That I just kept listening to it and getting that dopamine. I'm just like, oh my God, this is just perfect. And I listened to it so much, man. I learned to play the music on guitar. You know, I was showing all my friends this is it, dude. This is exactly what I want to be listening to right now. This is what I want to be playing. Like, I love every aspect of that album.
Yeah, and like I was gonna say, it's funny you say Trivium was the one because I always thought As I Lay Dying was like your gateway, but like now listening to that song, it's probably like super nostalgic, right?
Yes, always. I mean, there was some As I Lay Dying that I liked back then, but it didn't. Like, I really probably discovered that because I started looking more into metal because of Trivium. Like that's honestly how I discovered like All That Remains and stuff, because I was listening to Trivium, and then I'm like, you know, I get exposed to these other bands through this one outlet, and all hell breaks loose. I'm like, oh, I like this one and this one and this one, and I'm a kid in a candy store all of a sudden.
It's I equate this to. So we've talked about this on the podcast. I equate this to the umbrella effect, because with the umbrella you'll find a band, and then there's an umbrella underneath that band, and underneath that umbrella there's a bunch of other bands, and it's like, you know, like the classic, like, oh, I found Linkin Park, and oh, there's Bring Me the Horizon, and then there's Escape the Fate, and like all these other bands, and like people like get sucked into the whole like rabbit hole of it. So I think it's really cool. What's a new band who you think is hot, like that's really paving the way for like the next generation of like, you know, other bands or artists coming up? Like, is there a band particularly that sticks out to you that makes you go, you know what, like these guys are gonna be huge, or
like,
maybe they're already big?
I don't know, dude. There's so many. Like, I had never really listened to Bad Omens until recently, and I started getting into them. I started getting more into Motionless in White.
Yes, Afraid of the Dark, baby.
It's
Such
so
a good song.
good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good. Whenever I noticed that song had released, I put it in my earbuds. I'm at work, okay? My this chick that I work beside of, she's a big metalhead too.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have got to check this song out. She's listened to it. I'm listening to it. I played it on repeat like probably 25 times, dude. Like, I listened to it over and over that night while I was at work, just doing my thing, you know, just zoning out, just vibing to this freaking song. It was so good, man. But yeah, those are some of the bands. There was one here not too long ago that really started popping off, and I really haven't kept up with them too much. Like, I haven't been hearing them on, like, of course, Liquid Metal and stuff is frequently here, but Orbit Culture, like the things that I was hearing from them, I was like, holy crap. Like, I really got into stuff that they were putting out. Like, While They Serve, you know, was phenomenal. When I listened to that, I was like, yo, this is kind of like a great branch, you know, because
Oh my!
What
What
was
was
that?
that? Okay, so we're in my studio right now, and apparently, outside my window, somebody is like trying to assassinate like a crow or something. I don't know what's happening.
something is dying.
Something is dying. Yes.
I'm tempted to walk to the window, but I don't want to like leave the shot. They're just gonna have to do whatever they're doing.
Wow. Okay, that's a new one. I wonder if the mics pick that up.
I hope so.
It's just
I
like
doubt
sitting.
it.
We're sitting there, and all of a sudden you just hear ah.
If I turn my head towards you, the mic doesn't pick it up. So I doubt that I got it. But anyways, like I said, dude, like Orbit Culture, they're like this really cool like branch off, because when you're listening to modern metal now, it's all kind of got a similar kind of direction. You've got you know, variances and stuff, but Orbit Culture, it really like veered off in a totally different direction, and it's really freaking good. Like, I really started listening to those guys a lot. I think they're from Sweden too, actually. There's a bunch of Sweden.
There's another
bands I've been
hardcore
listening
band
to.
that's from Sweden. I'm trying to remember the name of them, but you know, it's funny. I don't think I've definitely heard Orbit Culture. Like, I've definitely heard them, but like, I can't, like, if somebody says, "What's Orbit Culture sound like?" I couldn't tell you, but like, if, like, I want to say, like, I think Hogan's talked about it, your drummer. Like, I think, like blast beats and stuff is what comes to mind immediately, right? They're a pretty heavy band.
A little bit, but they do kind of a lot of like two-step kind of drum patterns with some really chuggy guitar. Like,
Yeah.
with the guitar just chugging the hell out, just putting down some killer phrases, dude. I love it. It sounds so good.
You into black metal?
No, not
Yeah,
really.
me either. I've never been into black metal. I know some people that are really into black metal, and I just don't know how they do it.
Dude,
What's a
I've
black
tried.
metal band anyway?
I don't know. I guess
trying to think.
I've seen photos of them like out in like snowy woods and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably some good stuff. I'm not knocking black metal. I just don't really listen to it.
Yeah, I don't either. God, I'm trying to think of like a black metal band now because it's driving me nuts. Because I've definitely listened to black metal bands and been like, yeah, that's cool. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, it's all relative to the listener, you know. I mean, there's fantastic black metal bands out there. It's just like, you know, there's great pop artists out there too, but I just don't listen to pop, so I can't really name them to you or like
Do you know?
judge their music because I don't really have an opinion that I can form on it.
Yeah. Do you know a band that like? I don't have any shame in this, honestly. A lot of the audience is gonna be like, "What?" But a band that took me a really long time to get into or discover really and dig deep enough into to really care about was Deftones. It took me a long time to really like actually like appreciate Deftones because everybody's like, "Oh, Deftones this, Deftones that, Deftones this," and I'm like,
Next time,
and I was always a Korn fan.
hear me out, okay?
Yeah.
Next time you hook up with some girl, you
Oh,
bring
God.
her over here,
Yeah.
put Deftones on
Oh, God.
right before you slid off to the bedroom,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, it'll change your entire opinion. Deftones is like the best sex music.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I think of Deftones, I just think of like a lot of moaning,
I mean, it's just
Aggressive
it's a really
moaning.
cool vibe, man. Like,
alternative moaning.
I mean, it's not moancore. Like you just turn the lights down, you know,
That's
like put on some Deftones, light some candles, and just see where the night takes you.
Yeah, see where
I'm
the
telling
night
you,
takes
you will
you.
have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 albums in, you're like, this is great. Yeah. No.
If it takes you 3 hours, you're not doing something right.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, let's talk about Dying Oath a little bit. I want to know about like where you guys are currently at. You know, like what's on the horizon for you guys. I know you guys have some new music coming out. Got a single coming out, right?
Well, we're kind of in a rebuilding phase right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was some issues internally. You know, every band has their issues. Every band constantly faces struggle. And sometimes it's a little bit harder to kind of get yourself out of this. Like, as you know, I quit for a little while because of, you know, it was nothing against the band. You know, they're all great people. We just had a few differences of opinion. You know, I wanted to go one direction. They wanted to go another. But, you know, we sat down, we talked it out. We're like, you know, we can compromise. You know, if you will work with us on these things, we will work with you on this. And, you know, like any good team, you know, we figured it out. We come up with compromise. And I think that we're in a pretty good place as far as decision making and the direction of everything. So we've got new music coming out. You know, we're actually just waiting on the final revision right now. And then that's going to be, you know, we're going to be starting the entire crazy process for that. We just did a crazy photo shoot. We just did a crazy, you know, music video. You know, we've got a lot of cool things. You know, the year is pretty much booked out. We've got tons of great shows. We've got great headlining appearances. We've got some festivals that we're doing. You know, so it's going to be a really good year, man. I'm pretty excited with where Dying Oath is at right now as far as rebuilding and where it's going to go in the future.
Yeah, it's tough being in a band. I mean, you're basically married to a bunch of people, and
You
yeah,
are.
you have
yeah,
to.
that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, you have to like learn how to get along with people and stuff. You know, it's rough, and like those compromises are really tough, and working together and like, you know, making those sacrifices. You know, and you have to give up a lot. You know, a lot of personal time, a lot of family time, especially if you're touring. You know, a lot of nights away from home. But I know you played that song from me earlier that you guys are putting out, and I'm really excited for that. That's really cool.
It's gonna be
the bridge on that is really sick. The production is really sick.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. So, and you also play guitar in my band, and that's
Yes.
something I wanted to kind of dive into, even though I can't like let too much go away because like nothing's really happened yet. So I started the band back in the spring. I had some OG members in here that are no longer in the band, and the band's called My Past Affliction, and we started writing. When did we start? We started writing. It was I had it literally like wrote down somewhere. I think it was well, this before you came along. I think it started in like August of 25,
Mm-hmm.
and then no, it was April of 25, I think it is. Yeah, April 25. Like this April makes a year. This band's
It's
already
crazy
been,
it's been that long.
yeah, this band's been established for like a year. Hasn't played any shows or anything like that, but April, so roughly a year, April 25, and then we wrote a couple ideas, and then ended up having to get a second guitar player. You came along, and then we sat down and wrote what is now known as Victim of Cycles.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And that one came along well. What's something that you can take away that from this band that you like, that kind of like, I feel like it gives you like a creative outlet on both ends, because like with Dying Oath, you're doing a little bit more of a different style and sound versus this band is super modern.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because there's a lot less pressure on it right now too. Like Dying Oath, where it's established and where we've already got, you know, a fan base. We've got people wanting particular things. We've got shows. We've got obligations. There's a lot of pressure to kind of meet certain responsibilities and meet a certain bar that you reach. But with this one right now, it's beautiful because it's all in the creation phase. So there's no pressure. It's just, you know, you just create. You just start the whole process, and I love creating things from the ground up. Like the initial process is so much fun because you can shape it however you want it, whereas, you know, with Dying Oath, you know, it's established, it's set, you know, there's timelines, there's deadlines, you know, there's a lot more pressure to that. With this, dude, it's we can come in, we can sit down, we can just write music, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's watching the songs come together for me. That's like the euphoria part of it, because we like, I mean, 90% of the time we have something ready that we're working on when we walk in the door at night, you know, or like sometimes there's been nights where we walked in and they're like, you know, we've not had any like creative, what's the word I'm looking for here? Progress.
Yeah.
And we'll walk out the door, still have no song, but we all hung out and had a good time, and we're that much more close together as a band, which I think is another part of it that has to take time, is like that chemistry, like getting really close with each other. And like you and me, we've been friends for such a long time, which is great, but like, you know, having Aaron join the band recently, shout out Aaron, you know, getting him affiliated, you know, getting that kind of locked in, you know, creating that, what's the word I'm looking for here? Synergy, you know, but, my favorite, I had a burp. My favorite
Let it
song,
out, dude.
yeah, I know. My favorite song we are like working on right now, which is called Hierarchy, which is probably gonna change. It's like, I don't know. It's something I would jam. Like I throw it on in the car all the time. I'm guilty. Like I'll be at the gym and I'll throw it on and be like, I wonder how I'll do a vibe check on it like everywhere. I'll check to see how it sounds from in the shower, check to see how it sounds from in my studio. I'll check to see how it sounds on my treadmill at the gym, like, and I'll just sit there and play it and play it and play it and play it. And I'm like, I keep coming back to it. I like it, you know. That initial riff in the beginning is so heavy. It's so good.
Yeah.
You know, and like having Aaron join the band and like adding his guitar flair to it, I think has massively transformed things, which is super sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like something we've talked about, it's funny, we've discussed like, you know, AI. That's another one I wanted to get into, is like AI and like how bands are using that. Cause like I've put some of the songs through and like listened to what AI's done with them, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
How it like, it mixes it and it masters it and it does all this stuff that like, and it eliminates so many people's jobs, and it sounds so good. What's your take on AI? Because I know we've talked about it. You know, I know we're both in agreement that yes, it's a tool, but like to what degree is it a tool rather than just a fucking cheat code?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think that it's a very useful tool if used correctly. I think unfortunately you have people that are abusing it and using it to create the music solely through AI without any sort of human element to it, which I think is crucial for music. You've got only a certain amount of notes, and AI is going to rearrange it in a way that a human could do it just the same, but you have to look at it from, in my opinion, a moral standpoint. I don't think that, you know, somebody that just sits down at their computer, bangs out 12 songs in 20 minutes and uploads it has really, maybe this is an old school take too, and it might sound like a gatekeeper take. I don't care. Okay, I don't care about opinions. This is how I feel about it.
He doesn't.
But I believe that I feel like they haven't paid their dues. That it's not legitimate to me.
Yeah.
I think that AI, if used correctly, could be a very powerful tool. Though I think that if you, for example, if you want to write something and you sit down and you have AI just create you a drum track, and you sit down and you write guitar to it, I think that's incredibly valuable. I think that it's really good foundationally. I think that if you take it and you use it as a tool to help in the process, as opposed to a tool to just complete the entire process, then it's valuable. But music has to have that human element.
Yeah, there's something interesting about AI that like I've heard discussed, and like this is something I've always pondered, but like, you know, the significance of like, you know, going, you know, like this and putting some stuff in a computer, and then the significance of putting 6 songwriters in a room. You know, how do you measure each of those? You know, like what's, you know, other than the fact that one is human and one is non-human, one is artificial, like how do you measure that? Because
it's hard to, like, there's no, like, it's really hard to tell. Like, the only way that you can kind of tell right now is if somebody creates AI music and then just directly releases it, because you can hear, you know, the kind of mix match. Just like when you hear, like if you're scrolling through Facebook and you see a reel and it's obviously AI people with AI voices, you can hear it. You know, you can kind of hear that semblance because it's awkward. It doesn't sound natural to human ears. So with the music, you can kind of hear that too if you leave it exactly the way it is. But to be perfectly honest, if a band created an entire song with AI and then just like sat down and re-recorded it themselves, playing their own instruments, but playing the song, pretty much covering an AI song, dude, I don't know how you would tell. Like, I mean, I really don't. The only way you could really tell is if it's like a really shitty local band that all of a sudden drops a banger. You're like, whoa, something's going on here, man. I mean, that would be my cue.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it's funny because I had somebody message me the other day. I'm not going to mention the AI artist that's out there. But they had messaged me and was like talking to me. They were like, yeah, I like The Plot and You, and I like Beartooth, and I like Bad Omens and A Day to Remember and all these other bands. And they're like, I like this other new band, and they're called, you know, XYZ. Mm-hmm. And they're really good. Their vocals are insane. And I was like, and immediately in my head, I'm like, well, if they're mentioning all these bands and then they're, you know, that it's underneath that umbrella, I'm in my head going, how do I not know this band? So I went and looked up this band. It's an AI band.
Yeah.
And because I looked at their release schedule, and it was like, you know, 1 week single, second week, like they were dropping single after single within 2-3 days apart. No big bands doing that.
Yeah.
And like there's been like 3 albums put out in like 1 year, and I'm like, yeah, right. And like they all sound good, like mix wise, and I'm listening to the vocals and I'm like, how did you not pick up that this was like AI? So I think, unfortunately, like what I'm saying is like some of the average Joes or the newbies that don't like know like the inner workings of what's real versus not with music and stuff, are falling victim to these AI bands, and they're getting put on playlists and they're getting all this exposure and stuff. And then you got real bands like Dying Oath and My Past Affliction that are really building something from the ground up. And that's the part I have an issue with. It's like, you know, they're not, and there's just one guy behind their desk just pressing buttons, you know, putting out albums and, you know, arguably probably making money off it.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
Not a ton, because Spotify doesn't pay shit. Shout out Spoopafoo. But you know, that's the issue I have with it, and I just think it's really interesting. But you know, going back to what I was saying is like, you know, I think it's a tool.
Yeah, it's definitely a tool.
But how do you like measure the significance of like 6 songwriters in a room? Because you know that goes on in a lot of modern metal, like, you know, Bill Murray and Bad Omens, you know, collaborating together and all that kind of stuff. And A Day to Remember, you know,
Bill Murray.
Cody Quinstad from Wage War has wrote on so many different records. I mean, he did some of Falling in Reverse's guitar riffs, like, and you know, not everybody knows these things, and you know, it's not like a secret. I'm not trying to like pass the word of something that not everybody knows.
Of course.
But like, it's definitely a group effort. So like, I think AI is just like a non-human form of doing that, you know, and if it can help you figure out a chorus or something, you know, something small, like a small niche thing, that's cool. As long as you're not just putting out like copy paste songs, I think, you know, that's where the issue is.
Yeah, that's my main issue. I mean, and another thing that's really hurting things is like artists using AI artwork, or you know, or you know, just anything that's essentially taking a job away from somebody that's really freaking talented, man. That breaks me. Like, I hate it whenever you see an obvious like AI artwork that a real artist could have done and made a commission on, man. Because I mean, there's some really freaking talented people out there, and they don't charge that much money. Some do, sure, yeah. I mean, because of their name or whatever, but they're probably getting freaking humbled right now. Trust me. Find somebody who creates great artwork for a great price and stick with that. I mean, if $40 or $50 for like a really good, like album cover or something, or like a merch design, dude, if it's a merch design, you'll make it back in 2 t-shirts. It's not that big of a deal. You know, help artists. because they need it. We all need it because it's AI is taking over all of these things. It's putting a lot of people out of jobs. One of the artists that we used, we bought an album cover, and I don't think we used it because we never actually released an album. We just continued releasing single after single after single. But we still have that, and I think we paid like $80 for it, and it was an excellent piece of artwork. He's been hitting me up. He's like, dude, like work is just non-existent. Like nobody is using us anymore. And it's funny because you see so many people on social media damning people that's using AI, but I have a sneaking suspicion that probably most of them are using it. And it's kind of, if you're going to do AI artwork, don't release it. Have fun with it, play with it. Sure. Find some, cool little images and just be like, haha, check it out. Show it to your friends. But, try to help artists, dude. Like we're all in this together. All of the musicians and the artists and, all of these industry people, they rely on this. And if AI is going to take it over, I mean, I don't know how much longer we've got left. If you can sit down at a computer and generate a radio quality song in 30 seconds, what job am I really going to have in the future?
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks to think about. So that's why I try to embrace it to a degree. Like, I don't want to be one of those old head gatekeepers that's just like, oh no, we can't do it. Just like whenever, you swap from tape to digital, a lot of producers are like, no, we're sticking with tape. We're sticking with analog. I think that embracing the new technology is important. I think it's crucial to learn it and find ways that you can incorporate it into your own workflow and find ways to use it to improve your own productions. But don't rely on it. It can't be something that you have to have in order to complete a project or to write in general. Like, I just don't think that's right.
I just thought about, this is kind of a good crossover coming off of AI. But, you talk about like graphic design and stuff like that. And, something that I'm actually like realizing is, well, first of all, you got a new tattoo recently.
Yep.
Want to show the camera what you got? Tell us about it.
Yeah, the Serenity Prayer. I don't know if you can see it from there. Yeah. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Amen. Love it.
Yeah.
So I just thought about it, but I was like, wait a second. Like, I wonder if people are using AI for like tattoos. Like, I wonder if tattoo artists are using AI now. That's got to be a thing.
Dude, the base for this was AI.
Was it really?
It absolutely was.
Wow.
I took it to the artist. He changed some things. He's like, okay, let's customize it. Let's make it, individualist. It's kind of like what I'm saying. You can use it for a framework. You can use it for the foundation, and then add that human element.
Yeah.
It's got to have human element. Don't. Like, I wouldn't recommend just going to ChatGPT and being like, hey, design me a tattoo, and then just taking that image directly to your artist. Like this was definitely customized. There was a lot of things that was changed about it. Yeah. And there's more things that's going to change about it. But it gave, a good base foundation to kind of start from, which I think is really good. It gives people who don't have very much artistic talent the ability to be able to, design something that looks pretty good. Yeah. And then you go to a talented artist, or or if it's music, you go to, a talented producer, and you talk to them, you sit down with them, be like, let's make a cool song. Here's a cool little foundation. I like these riffs, or I like this drum pattern. And then you build from there, and you create something unique out of it.
Yeah. Got any dream producers you'd like to work with? Mine. Do you have any like dream producers you want to work with?
Not really. As long as they make it sound good, I don't really care. A lot of people worry about having a particular producer's name,
Yeah, it's not about the name. I think it's just more or less really about like, I don't know. Anyways, Drew Folk, Joey Sturgis, give me a call. Thanks. Appreciate you.
What's up?
Yeah, we're putting an EP together. We'd love to work with you, so give us a call. I'd appreciate that. You can email me, clayblackwell64@gmail.com. I'm totally joking. Even though I sounded very serious when I said that. And they're like,
I'm doing a full pitch.
The kid sounds like a dying cat in a hailstorm. Why are we going to email him? He sounds my voice is dying right now.
Sounds like a dying goat.
Like the goat scream. Can I I'm going to do like a fake scream, input the goat scream.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'll have to edit that in there later. Y'all love that. But shit, I feel like we've covered a lot so far already. So we talked about AI. We talked about you and the band. I don't know. Is there anything like particularly you're like looking forward to?
Not really. Releasing some music, maybe playing some cool shows, getting back on stage. I haven't been on stage in a while, man. I miss it.
Yeah, same.
Like,
here.
I know that everybody always asks me, they're like, do you get nervous? Like, hell yeah, I get nervous, of course. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I miss it, dude. Like, eventually you get to a point to where you know that within the first minute or two, the jitters are going to wear off and you're going to be just completely consumed with adrenaline. So it kind of helps deal with any kind of stage fright or jitters. You know, I've always heard if you're not afraid, then you don't care. And I mean, that might be true for some people, but I still get the jitters every single time.
Yeah. What's your what is do you do anything before a show to kind of help?
I drink.
See, I can't.
That's a terrible.
So, yeah, that Halloween show, baby. Yeah, buddy.
No, normally I don't drink like that though.
Yeah.
Like it was a home show. We had went to the liquor store, right before. We were having a great time. We were sitting in the green room. Things got a little out of hand. Okay, mistakes were made. But that was
a lot of mistakes. Indulging way too much alcohol.
All I remember was Hogan looking at me as like, "Let's do Odyssey," and I'm like, "No." It was a terrible time.
That was a good show.
I don't remember anything else.
Definitely.
I vaguely remember headbanging in End of Days whenever we come up to the bridge where it gets heavy and everybody's jumping and stuff. I remember headbanging there because I was really having to focus, not falling over. So I have like a slight like hint of focus at that moment, so I have a slight memory from that, but that's really about it. But yeah, I mean, usually I don't go to shows and get hammered. If there's a bar, I'll go have like a shot of Jack Daniels, or I'll go have a Jack and Coke, just a little something to take the edge off.
I don't drink anymore before shows. I had a really bad experience one time, but
me too.
How long does it take for you to like get the jitters to wear off to where you like can relax? Is it usually like you got to get through the first song, or
on stage? Usually it's like,
is it instantaneous? For me, it's the first crack of the snare.
So the way that our set list has been set up, we have a 1.5-minute intro leading into Ascension. So I'm standing up there jittery the whole time. It's like, okay, this is weird. We're up here, the lights are down. We're just like chilling. We're listening to the tracks play. Then the first drum hits, we all turn around, we kind of start headbanging, jamming to the music. Usually it'll start out with like an intro, then a verse, and then usually by the chorus, I'm like, okay, I'm locked in.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, for me, it's always the intro up until like the first crack of the snare. Once I crack the snare and I have to actually focus on what I'm doing, it immediately leaves me.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but like, it always goes by so quickly.
Oh, it does.
It feels like it goes.
That's the adrenaline,
fast.
man. You get so amped up and so hyped.
Like it's a 30-minute set, and you feel like you played one song and that was it.
Well, the more that you focus, the faster time's going to pass. Like if you're sitting and playing Call of Duty and you're really focused on it, 2 hours is going to pass in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
It's kind of like that, man. You're really focused on doing something that you love, and time's going to fly. So you'll start your first song and you're like, holy crap, we're done. It's just like that. Especially like whenever we played Blue Ridge Rock Festival the first time.
I bet that adrenaline
and we
was
had
nuts.
So many people out there. I don't even remember the performance. Like, I don't remember because the adrenaline was so strong. Every time I would look up, there was a sea of 10, 15,000 people out there. And, you see like a huge pit in the middle and people like arm in arm headbanging. And then you see like people doing a wall of death. And you're just like, this is the craziest thing that I could possibly experience in my life.
Yeah, Louder in Life, that was a good one too.
It was crazy.
Y'all had a good crowd for that one.
Yeah, we played early for that one, so and it was right in the middle of the hurricane that destroyed.
Yeah, what hurricane was that?
I don't know.
What was the name of that? What did they name that bastard?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember.
Why do we give these things names? Why did we give them an identity?
Well, I always give them female names.
Girls are crazy.
Because they wreck shit.
Yeah, because they wreck shit. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh. It's like, that hurricane, they named it after my wife. We're divorced now. I'm like, it makes sense. But no.
What was the name? Oh goodness.
I can't remember. Was it Irene?
I don't
know. I can't remember. It's irrelevant. But
anyways, yeah.
The crowd. I will say, in my opinion, because I was at both. I've been at multiple festivals with you guys, multiple.
Yeah.
The crowd, in my opinion, for surprisingly with the weather, how shitty it was.
Yeah.
The crowd at Louder Than Life, I thought was better than the crowd y'all had at Blue Ridge Rock Fest 2022.
2022, yeah. Yeah,
2021, I think topped all of those.
Oh, 21 was huge. 2022, they put us on that small stage up in the corner.
Yeah.
And there was probably like, Motionless in White or something. Well, no, I'm just kidding. They would be a headliner, of course. But there was a big band probably playing at the exact same time. And it's hard, whenever you're on a little stage way off in the distance. Because in 2021, they put you right beside the main stages. You would have a main stage and a small stage, main stage, smaller stage. And being an up-and-coming newer artist, we would play the small stage. But, there's a lot of people that's traveling to and from the main stages that they'll hear this new band playing, and they'll stop and they'll pay attention. They're like, oh, I like that. And they'll come up. Well, that's exactly what happened to us. There was people that was traveling to the other main stage, but instead of traveling all the way down and going ahead and securing a spot for the next band, they stopped and they walked up and they started chilling at our stage and listening to it. And it was like, hell yeah. Like after we finished our set, there's a huge wave of people chanting Dying Oath. Every time I go watch that video, I still get goosebumps, man, to this day. Like it's the craziest thing I could possibly imagine. And it happened. It's like, I couldn't dream of something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's so surreal.
Something I realized, something I wanted to talk about was Blue Ridge Rockfest, man. That was...
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I miss it.
I do too.
I do. I hate everything that happened with it. I've got friends that still haven't gotten their money back.
Really?
And that pisses me off.
Yeah.
It does. I totally understand. What was it, 2023, the last year? I understand there was really bad weather.
Yeah, they had to cancel it.
They ended up having to cancel the last day. I think they canceled half of the day before that or something.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't there.
What was going on was the weather was poor, and they were calling for rain, and it ended up raining, but it didn't rain very long. It sprinkled, and the sun came back out, and they said they canceled it for weather and wind, but I'd also heard that a lot of stagehands had walked off.
Yeah, I'd heard
because
a lot
they
of that
weren't
too.
Accommodated with food and water and
showers.
Yeah, it was a big disaster. It was almost borderline Woodstock. People were burning shit at the end of it. It's crazy.
Well, I understand. Okay. 2023, you have these crazy weather issues. If you go back and watch some of the videos, the wind was insane. It was throwing everything around. Like the campgrounds were an absolute
I forgot about
disaster,
that storm.
Dude.
I forgot about that storm. Yeah.
So, there was terrible weather that just destroyed everything. There was people hiding under stages. There was people that was hiding in the merch tent just trying to get covered.
I hid in the root beer tent.
It hailed really bad.
Yeah, I hid in the root beer tent. I did. I hid in the root beer tent. And then I had to carry my ex-girlfriend all the way back from the main stage to camp because she had asthma.
So what I'm saying though is I understand that situation. I understand why it got canceled.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there wasn't refunds, but at the same time the bands had already been paid. There's really not much money that you can pull to refund people at that point. What pisses me off is that there was people that had prepaid for 2024 that didn't get refunded. And I don't think that's right at all. I don't know the situation. I don't know the legality of the whole thing. I don't know.
They probably filed bankruptcy.
Probably. If there's a show that's scheduled and you get to enjoy half of it, but weather destroys everything and you just can't continue. I get that. Of course, there's the stagehand issue and all of those things. I don't know much about that. I watched the video with Tank the Tech. That kind of,
dude, that whole video was golden. Shout out Tank the Tech.
Yeah, so
shout out Tank the Tech. That whole video was golden.
Yeah, so I definitely have some opinions that I formed based on that. I generally don't like to go by third-party hearsay. I generally like to experience myself, but I wasn't there, and it seems that the story is pretty mutual. If you hear the same story from 15 unrelated people, there's probably a pretty good chance that they're onto something. So I've heard a lot of the things that went on behind the scenes, and that troubles me. That really troubles me. Like your gig workers should not be treated like that. They should receive all the benefits and amenities that they need to get their
treat
job
your crew
done.
right. You got to treat your crew right.
Yeah, if they're there working their asses off for 18 hours, man, daily, just give them the basic. Like it's unreal. Like I don't know if they didn't have showers or like they had very limited porta johns or what it was. I know the John situation there was like really bad too. I seen a couple screenshots a couple of photos that people had put up, and it was disturbing, man. But
it's overflowing.
But
out of hand.
Sometimes festivals have to grow, and I think that Blue Ridge grew really quickly into something that was difficult to handle. And I think after so many people complained after like 2021 and everything started changing hands and other companies was hired in to handle multiple things, and sometimes companies don't perform, I don't know, I don't want to sit and think that somebody was just a crook and just took people's money. I don't believe that. I've met, John Sly. He seems like a great dude. He seems like a great person, but I think that he was put in a situation that he didn't know how to get out of. I don't know. I'm not going to form an opinion on it. Actually, let me just backpedal there, because I don't know the whole thing, and I don't want to form an opinion on it and make a quote that I'm probably going to regret, because I just don't have enough details on it. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
You got to watch what you say nowadays. They'll just clip it real quick.
Well, I mean, it's not really that. I mean, I feel like a lot of people were really burnt by that whole situation.
I'll say this much.
I don't want to sit here and badmouth it, because I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I'll say this much. It was an absolute shit show. The whole thing.
I know that people wasn't refunded for 2024, and that's what bothers me. 2023, I get, because everything was already paid for. So there's not really a whole lot of money, unless you file the insurance claim, which is, I heard that's what they did. Whatever. In 2023, if I would have gotten a refund, I would have been like, cool. If I wouldn't have gotten a refund, I'd be like, that sucks, but, I get it, whatever. And I know a lot of people, that were at 2023 that, had, like, even though there was those issues, they went ahead and bought tickets for 2024. You could go ahead and prepay it. And like one of them I work with, and she was telling me, she's like, yeah, I even after all of that, I was super excited for 2024, because it's like the closest big festival to me. I love going to it every year. It's a big part of my year. It's my vacation. So that's what I choose to do. And, she bought tickets for 2024. And she never got refunded. And I don't think that's right. If you know at that point that there's not going to be a 2024, you should not be selling tickets for it. And if the link is up accidentally, refund the people.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult. It's not. My question is like, breaking away from what happened, do you think that the festival will return under a new name? Do you think there will be another Virginia festival? Do you think that'll ever happen again? Do you think somebody's going to revive it? I've heard talk of it trying to come back, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
I think time heals wounds. I think that as time passes, the bad is forgotten and the good kind of remains. So I think at some point it could possibly come back under completely different management.
Yeah, it was really good for our scene too, man. The bands around here, it was really good for our scene. Bands getting on that, playing it.
It was great for us.
Seasons played it. Y'all played it. I wanted to play it at the time with the band that I was in. Like, so many opportunities for so many young bands to really be exposed and make something of themselves and really be something. So it was really cool to see that. But I would. If it returned, I would be open-minded about it. I wouldn't reject it immediately. I think a lot of people would be skeptical, but I think that's normal. I think I think enough times passed that if Woodstock ever came back, somebody would buy a ticket.
Probably, yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't no Woodstock '99, which that whole thing was crazy. You've seen that documentary, right?
Yeah, I've seen all about that.
No, that is
that was insane, dude.
So crazy.
The Porta Johns overflowing and the mud, and people literally wading through waste, dude.
People walking around completely naked.
Who was it? Limp Bizkit that really.
Oh yeah, Fred Durst. Yeah, I remember Jonathan Davis from Korn had an interview right after he played that show, and he was like, having a crowd of 50 to 60,000 people in the palm of your hand, he's like, there's no drug on the planet can give you the feeling that you have when you have that feeling.
I can't imagine.
You got up, are you ready? And it just drops. Oh my gosh, the new metal bounce, baby.
Yes,
the new metal bounce.
That feeling, man.
Oh,
it would be incredible.
Yeah.
Or think about David Draymond, whenever he's saying 10,000 fists in the air, and everybody's got their fists up, and the stadium lights come on. Dude, what kind of feeling is that?
That's a weird thing. I was talking about that on the phone with somebody the other night. I was like, it's really odd. You put 4 or 5 dudes in a room, and they make a song, and each instrument's doing something, but they're all working together, right? Mm-hmm. And then you put out that song. And then you go perform that song, and you're standing in front of a crowd of 1 to 500 to 5,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you've made this thing, and all these people that don't even know who you are radically moving to it in the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, that is crazy. Like, we made some sounds in a room and put it out on Spotify, and now these motherfuckers are shoving each other left and right. Like, that is nuts.
It's crazy how music can create emotion like that.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
I love it, though. If I hear a new song that really, like, gets me, you know, I get goosebumps, dude. I still get chills down my arms. I love feeling that.
Yeah, and there's, like, a sense of comfort with music, too. Like, certain songs you listen to, and they're, like, comforting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I Can Wait For You at the bottom. I Can Stay Away If You Want Me To.
I can wait for years if I gotta. Heaven knows there's no getting over you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just pretend.
I think any dude that's been through a bad breakup probably knows exactly
Just
what
Pretend by
about.
Bad Omens, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never. I would rather drink straight chlorine than relate to that album again.
Yeah, I feel that. That song has like really helped and hurt me over a period.
I think that's another thing too. It's a good point we could bring up. It's like navigating like relationships and marriages and like being a dad or being a father figure, you know, for somebody, and like being in a band and like being away or playing shows and being on the road. Like, that's got to be tough, man. It's got to be really tough. I mean, there's trade-offs, unfortunately. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
I saw somebody post the other day, a really good friend of mine. He's a drummer for a big band. I'm not going to mention his name here for privacy reasons, but he posted the trade-offs with being a full-time musician and navigating being a father and a husband is truly heartbreaking. And he put like a heartbreak emoji on his Instagram story, and kind of led me to believe something was going on. And I hit him up and was like, hey man, like, you need anything, let me know. And it kind of reminded me of like how hard that balance is.
There's a lot of bigger, you know, touring musicians that if they knew then what they know now, they probably would have chose a different path.
Probably.
I guarantee it, dude. It's not easy.
It's not a comfortable path for sure. And I'm not saying it as if I've done it. I've talked to a lot of people that have, you know, are doing it or have done it before, or I've just watched a lot of videos where people have talked about it, and it's not for the faint of heart, you know.
No,
because
not at all.
It's a lot of it's a lot of rapid attach and detachment. You know, you come home to your wife and you expect her to just like immediately like give you all this attention, and they're still trying to adjust that you are back in the same zip code as them.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I haven't seen you in 6 weeks. You know,
like,
or 8 weeks.
They're like, give me
long.
some time to really process that you're home, you know, versus, you know, us, we come home, or like people that come home, they're like, oh, I want to, you know, like, hang out with you and all this stuff. And, you know, I think there's an emotional balance to it for sure.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster, but
you have to miss a lot.
Yeah, you have to miss a lot. And that's the thing too, is, you know, thinking about like planning, going on tour, like, you know, having kids and stuff like that, you know, you know, that's got to be the worst part of it too. If you have kids that are young, like they're not growing like you're young kids, and you're on tour and you're missing those first birthdays and those first Christmases and those first Thanksgivings and like all those iconic moments that you'll never get back, you know.
Yeah.
You can always, you know, you can always go back on tour. You can always, you know, you can always make more money. Can't get the time back though. You know, it's something, you know, I told you, Nick. Shout out Nick, colorblind. He announced that he was taking a break from touring for, I think the way he worded it was foreseeable future until otherwise.
Dude, I get it. I mean, 100%. And we don't tour that often.
And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's mental health reasons or it's personal. You know, like I said, I'm not going to air his laundry, but like he just, you know, said, I'm taking a break from touring. This guy's going to be filling in. I'll still be involved creatively, but I'm not going to be touring right now and performing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's got to be.
Yeah. It's a price you pay, dude.
Well, it's gotta suck too, because you're like, there's this thing you've built from the ground up, you know, from nothing to something, and now you're kind of like almost walking away from it halfway. So I know that's got to be tough for him, because I know I'm sure he likes performing, and I think he's a huge part of the band creatively too. Like, I think he does a lot of their like songwriting and like you know, ideas and stuff like that. And I know he is like hugely part of their like rig that they have, like their live rig and stuff. And he's been working with us, mixing our demos for the stuff we're putting together in My Past Affliction, which, shout out Nick, you're the man. Can't say enough good things about you. You know, it's crazy because we've been friends. We did a collab and became best friends. I went to Nashville and met him and watched him play a show, and we've been friends for like 4 or 5 years now. And it felt like yesterday they were putting out like their self-titled EP, and I was just like, I messaged him on Instagram, was like, hey, you know, you want to do a collaboration together on your song? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. And I'm like, sick. And it came out really good. But yeah, what's that, dude? This has been a sick ass combo. I think my voice is pretty much shot.
That's
at
what it
this
sounds
point.
like, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got about 6 more words
I
left.
think I got about
you're
like
just
shot,
dude.
I was gonna say we got about 8 more minutes, so I think it's a good place to wrap. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being on the podcast. Where can everybody find you? Where can everybody find Dying Oath? Plug all your stuff. Got a new single coming out. Plug it.
You go to any social media and look up Dying Oath, you'll find us. Of course, on Instagram, there's underscore dying underscore oath. So, man, it is what it is. Everywhere else, just Dying Oath Band. You know, Facebook.com/Dying Oath. You know, we're on all streaming services. I don't know if we're on like radio, what are like the internet radios things? I don't know. We might be. Who knows? I know that our publisher and our distributor
Is there
blasted everywhere.
Is there a release date you can give away for that new song yet, or not anything yet?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
We like to get everything ready. We like to have every single aspect of it ready and in a folder and ready to just push the button and fire away before we drop any kind of dates. So
probably in the next 3 months.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. And everybody can find you, Josh Hagee, on pretty much everything.
That's it. Yeah. I actually just made a new Instagram. I need followers. I think I've got like 6 followers. I literally just made it. So, yeah, just find Josh Hagee on Instagram and hit me up.
You got some homework. Go follow him. Give him some followers. He's got 6 followers.
Come on, man.
Go give him 6,000. 600,000.
Please. I'll post some cool shit.
Yeah.
You'll like it. It's worth it.
He'll post his feet pics.
No, I won't.
Yeah.
I want followers. I don't want people to block me.
All right, well, this has been episode number 3, I believe, with Josh Hagee, guitarist from Dying Oath. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe, follow, all that stuff. Leave us a like or review, all the good stuff, and we'll see you next time. Peace.